Welcome, WitchCon attendees. Today we have a very special treat in store. So, Maxine Sanders is going to be doing an interview with me about her experiences in craft, and we will be touching on subjects including current projects she's working on, the Alexandrian tradition, and her thoughts about all things occult. So, I'm very pleased to welcome Maxine Sanders. Welcome, Maxine. Blessed be.
That could be a brand.
Best of beat. So, because I wanted to make sure to start with the coven questions so that I don't forget to ask them, because they really wanted them to get in there. Not as many of them participated as I would have liked, but a few of the brave ones did. And the first one is from Witch Liz in the Salem Coven. Her question is, Blessed be, thank you. I would like to know what was the best piece of advice that you've ever received in craft.
I think it was probably to enjoy everything, even the bad things in life. And taking that on board, you tend to recognize that not everything is perfect. And sometimes circles and your workings are not as good as you thought they were going to be. But that just brings out the good circles to be fabulous. So I understand now enjoying every aspect of life and living. And the older I get, the more I realize how important it is to enjoy life because it goes so quickly.
Second part of the question is, what was the most important practice that you put in place when you began the Temple of the Mother?
Most important practice. Purification in thought, in mind and body before you go into work in a sacred circle. That's one of the big things. I think because Alex had always said, when we go into the circle, it's a sacred space and we're going before the gods. And so we should be as beautiful as we can make ourselves. And that helps us to show our inner spirit, our inner soul. And it brings it, puts us in the right condition, the right situation, the right attitude to worship the gods.
Thank you, Witch Liz, for your questions. We're going to now go on to Ellie Barnes, who is a priestess from the New Orleans Coven, who doesn't know she's the high priestess, but will eventually convince her. She says, Blessed be, I'd like to know what philosophies and practices influenced Maxine the most as she developed the Temple of the Mother?
That's a really tough one, and I really don't know the answer because I think when you're running a group, you're open because as an Alexandrian witch, we tend to experiment, we tend to constantly look at things and that work, that improve our ritual, improve our magic, and so what philosophies? I mean, I like Buddhism, Tibetan Buddhism. I think that's quite an influence. But I think I'm mainly influenced by witchcraft. I don't, even though parts of our rituals are Kabbalistic, my main focus is witchcraft.
Our second question is that when working with Alex in the London Coven and then shifting to the Temple of the Mother, did you change focus as you began to work without Alex?
Oh, very much so. Very much so. A lot more. I was fortunate enough to be surrounded by good priests and priestesses. And we got a sense of direction. We knew what we wanted. We wanted better ritual. We wanted the results of the magic to become more positive. And it was a perfect time. It was new beginnings. It was new beginnings for us to take the sword and rule with it. And by that, I mean create stronger circles. We tested our circles, which I think most Alexandrians still do to this day, because they want the best. They want everything to work and work well, and never, I can't, after all these years, no two circles are the same. We can get really, you hear those words, oh, thou circle, be thou a meeting place of love and joy and truth. And it sends shivers up the spine as you know, you anticipate what's going to happen.